Showers and thunderstorms popping off across PA right now and areas of Maryland. It'll move off towards the east. So, really, the pattern over the next few weeks or so is not going to be super active. It's not going to be really that unactive. We are going to have pretty normal type conditions. Same thing with temperatures. There's no extreme heat that's going to last. There's no like, wow, this is really chilly for mid-August either. So we'll take a look at everything here right now. This is the area of rain and thunderstorms. Decent amount of lightning on this guy. Scranton Wilkes-Barre back in towards Allentown the next little bit, and then Lancaster definitely getting hit there. Also some flooding being reported there, and then some back into Hagerstown, Maryland. This will spread off towards the east over the course of the next several hours or so. South of that boundary, this area is covered by a severe thunderstorm watch, including all of New Jersey into the New York City area and western Long Island a little bit. So as this boundary continues to move on through, you can see a little more development back to the west into areas of Ohio too. You can see as we totally zoom on out there, another complex of rain and thunderstorms associated into the upper Midwest. High pressure is moving on out. Temperatures warm, lower middle 80s across western PA, much of New York State. Definitely humid all over the place, but when you go through areas of Maryland, Virginia into Jersey, it's closer to about 90 degrees as far as the air temperature goes. And when you factor in that humidity, as we said, it is definitely pretty humid. Yeah, feels more like 100 degrees. So certainly some impressive heat. Definitely again here today. Wind streamlines coming out of the southwest there, allowing for that moisture and humidity to move its way back in. And there's no major frontal boundaries, as you can see there, back to the west associated with that. Slight risk for severe weather across much of the area there. Give you another look at that. I couldn't see that too well. DC, Baltimore, Philly to New York, that ocean breeze is probably going to help with also just a not the best boundary across far eastern Jersey closer to the ocean. So there should be a weakening trend. But here's as we go through the next couple of hours, there will be some showers and thunderstorms that do move through areas of New Jersey back in towards Philly. Portions of maybe Cape May could see a little bit, and then more as we go into the later evening, New York and in towards upstate New York along 87, Hartford, Boston area as well. There'll be a nice gap as we go through the day tomorrow until late in the day with showers and thunderstorms redeveloping by the time we get towards the evening into the late evening and early overnight hours at that point as another trough will be moving through. And then probably quieting down until a cold front moves through as we go on through the day on Sunday. I think there will be at least a little development along that. We'll just have to see how widespread. But high pressure does carve things out, allowing for cooler Canadian air to push on in on the backside briefly. But then that will not last long because another warm front pushes on in. It gets more hot and humid into early Monday, and we're going to have to watch to see exactly where that low ends up, where that complex of thunderstorms could be, whether that's going to be more Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and east, or if that's going to stay across portions of Ontario into upstate New York. Right now, most of the guidance showcasing it will be well north of our general area, but we'll see some development of scattered showers and thunderstorms there later Monday, and then into Tuesday as well as that next frontal boundary does make its way on through. Again, kind of scattering out. Better chances are going to be western PA and west versus next necessarily like DC and New York and Jersey. Into New England, that'll be a passageway into the middle portions of the week. More scattered activity at that point too. But again, nothing super organized as we go in towards the end portions of the week. So total rainfall, when you add it all up, and again, a lot of this is scattered, a lot of this is pop-up, a lot of this is complexes that we don't know exactly where they're going to go. So where you see these lower ends or you see these blips of higher end, that doesn't mean that's exactly where it's going to end up. But the potential is pretty realistic, I would say, in the next week for a good solid half an inch minimum to about 3 inches of rain maximum, with most areas being in that 1 to 2. But again, It will vary a little bit from spot to spot. So when you factor all that in, it does still put us at near to slightly above average amounts of precipitation, with I do believe better chances once you get into, let's say, West Virginia, Kentucky, into Indiana. But certainly not a very dry pattern for any of us here into the Mid Atlantic and East Coast. And then temperatures, we're going to see that change. And we've talked about this. This is not any surprise. This is exactly what we discussed in the last long range forecast, is that we're going to see that heat into the early portions of mid-August, and then it's going to back off, and it's going to be a week or two of generally a cooler pattern. No long-lasting, well below average temperatures, but yes, the trend will be for our area once we get into the middle portions and end of next week to be a little bit on the cooler side. Now, kind of when you factor it all in, I mean, this is just kind of the general Jersey forecast for the most part. You're looking at still, even into like Wednesday and Thursday, still some middle to upper 80s. But I think we're going to have cooler lows. So a lot of lows back into the lower to middle 60s, and then highs maybe just into the middle 80s. So, I mean, we're really just talking about slightly below average. I think that we might maybe bring these temperatures just down a few degrees, but a few chances for showers and thunderstorms. It's definitely a hot pattern over the course of the next 4 days. And then after that, things will stabilize a little bit. So yeah, into the long range, I mean, we're going to have the cooler periods slightly. We're going to have the slightly warmer periods. Um, we'll have to talk here soon about El Nino a little bit more. It's just extremely impressive how strong it is currently, and it's only going to get stronger. And yeah, we're talking about one of those rare, only has happened in recorded history, which is a small blip in the grand scheme of things since we've been tracking everything. One of the strongest, if not the strongest, El Ninos, and I do believe that it's going to have a pretty large effect, overriding the overall weather pattern. But because it's going to be so strong, it might not always act like a lot of the typical El Ninos that we have, just because it's going to kind of be on its own class. And there might be some variables that we'll have to kind of discover as we go along, but we'll go more into that. Otherwise, have a great weekend and take care.